Hello everyone, welcome to One More Step to Wellness. I'm your host, Juliet Nelson, and I am a mental health nurse practitioner. I am delighted that you're here because here at One More Step to Wellness, we talk about health-related matters and especially that of mental health. You see, it is important that we address the issues of mental health because now more than ever, we recognize that unless we become intentional about how we feel, what we're thinking and what we're doing, it's just important now more than ever. But today, I want to talk about whole health. What will it take for you to place your health at the very top of your priorities? Are you kind of waiting on the perfect set of circumstances? Are you waiting until you have enough money? Are you waiting until everything, all the ducks are in a row before you really pay attention and do something about your personal health? What will it take? Look, I know as a nurse that healthcare is not really accessible to many. Depending on where you live, what's going on in your life, even economics will determine how best we can take care of ourselves. So our health needs to be a priority. We cannot put it on the back burner. So today, on One More Step to Wellness, I want to ask you this question. What will it take for you to place your health at the top of your list of to-dos and make it your priority? See, many times we focus on one area of our health, right? The physical. We're thinking that unless something happens, we don't really need to go see someone to help us, right? And there are many things, again, that we can self-manage, but not everything. We cannot self-manage things all the time. And if we take a look at things culturally, we tend to go back to our cultural beliefs and practices at times to kind of manage some things that are going on. But how do you know what requires attention? So we're going to think about that now because the new year is here. And a lot of us have made plans and goals and resolutions, whatever it is we call them. But I would like you to make your health a priority this year. Just small incremental steps can make a difference. And as a nurse, I think more so about preventative care. Some things that you can do ahead of time so that you don't have to fix the problem. What are some of these things? Well, depending on where you are now in your stage of development or whatever your age, you know, from childhood to adulthood and throughout the different stages, there are some things that we must do to practice good preventative medicine because otherwise we're always kind of reactive. We're always trying to fix something that has already happened that we could have prevented in the first place. And again, let's just think about this in a very practical way because I know that not everyone has health insurance. Not many of us carry insurance plans that we can just freely go see a doctor when we choose to go because things cost money. They cost a lot. And without these kind of resources, you know, financial resources, we delay. We just don't really access care because we just don't know how we're going to pay for it. So I'm going to offer a few suggestions today. Let's just start with physical health. How do we know what is required at a certain time during our lives? You know, what needs to be done in our 20s might look a little different from our 30s and our 40s and 50s and the years beyond. So how do you know how to practice good preventative medicine and or strategies or even lifestyle practices that we can do to prevent illness? Illness prevention is very important, and that is why we as nurses talk about taking the necessary steps to just stay well. Of course, I'm a mental health nurse practitioner and I'm going to focus quite a bit on the brain. But nonetheless, you know, whole health is not just brain health. We have to think about physical health. We have to think about all those 8 dimensions of wellness, which I talk about all the time. And I'm going to go over those, right? Your physical health is important. Your emotional health and wellness, your intellectual health and wellness, your environmental health and wellness is really, really important. What about social connections? How are you doing in that area? Occupational health, and of course, your spiritual health health and wellness is not just one thing, because there's some areas where you're just doing well. You don't have to worry about that for now, but some things need attention. Physical health and wellness is important, and that's what I want to talk about today. Making your health a priority, and think about what it would take for you to do that. Now, routine checkups are important. So this is the first thing I want you to think about. Get a routine checkup this year. If you find a nurse who you can just talk with for a moment, nurses can help you design and guide you along the wellness journey, because there's some things that you need routinely at different stages of your life that nurses are very helpful with that stuff. Whatever it is that you need, they'll be able to tell you, so you can at least take that next step to obtain the services that are required. Things like the hypertension, the diabetes. What about those things? Is that something you're dealing with? And it could be other things, but just as an example. Are you dealing with chronic health conditions where maybe if you were to change and make adjustments to your lifestyle, it could help to improve your quality of life? There are times when we have injuries and we kind of nurse them on our own, and before you know it, we develop all kinds of issues with them. What about your mental health? How are you doing in that area? Your health is your priority. It is not someone else's. It means then that if you notice that there's something going on, there's been some change, it's just not you. You don't know if it's an illness, but you believe it is important to talk to someone. Well, it is time. What are your thoughts? Are you kind of thinking some kind of a way that's a little bit dark and negative? How do you feel about yourself? Think about some of these things we're addressing now, because remember, the goal is for you to make your health a priority. Are you having some kind of a conflict with prescribed medicine because you want to self-manage and do your own thing, just don't want to have to deal with these medications? How are you looking at that? And when do you begin to have that conversation? Do you wait until things get like really bad? Then you start to kind of just try, second guess yourself. These are important considerations, because if we're going to put your health to the forefront of our day, our lives, we have to think about what will it take. Do you think it's time that, even as women, that we talk to someone about hormones? Depending on where you are in life now, you might be perimenopausal, you might be menopausal, you might be postmenopausal. And if you're not able to access care, there's a lot of education out there now, which are credible sources, and you can take a look at doing some more research. Bring that information to someone who may know and understand. If you're a teenager, for example, are you thinking about, protecting yourself against sexually transmitted diseases? What about pregnancy? How are you feeling about that? What about occupational health? What are you thinking about working? Are you in school? What do you believe it would take for you to take just one more step towards prioritizing your health? When was the last time you saw a dentist? Did you know that your mouth is the door to your body? Everything that goes into your mouth goes down there, and we have to be sure that there are no gum infections. You're not experiencing poor oral health, because studies have shown that poor oral health contributes to heart problems, heart disease. What about vision and hearing? When was the last time you had your eyes checked? What about your hearing? Are you hearing well? When was the last time you had your ears cleaned? Your health is your priority, and you must focus on various areas of your health at different times, for sure, depending on where you are now in life, but they're all equally important. So brain health, cardiovascular health, which is the heart health, think about even your blood pressure. Is it well managed? So these are all things to consider, If you do not have access to care, it is a difficult situation to be in, but there are some things I want to encourage. If there is ever a community health fair in your neighborhood, please attend one of those. Even approaching the blood bank to give blood. There are times when nurses are there, they can check your blood pressure. It's almost like you're getting a free health screening exam if you were to donate blood. So these are some opportunities you could use in your community just in case you do not have access to good health care. There are times when churches also have health team on staff who once in a while we all have health fairs, and we encourage the community to come out. So I want to encourage you to seek out opportunities in your community that offers free health screenings. Making your health a priority is immeasurable. It is important that we pay attention. Well, I often say, even a glass of water. What about just staying hydrated? Just one glass of water will help to make a difference if you're someone who doesn't drink at all. So create a system where you have a glass of water every 2 hours or so, all day long. That's a big step. What about just going outside for 20 minutes every day or a couple of times a week? Take a walk. That is a big step towards prioritizing your health. Remember, it doesn't have to be anything big. Just one step at a time. I'm going to encourage you here at One More Step to Wellness. Every step you make counts towards that journey. Be mindful. Think about it. What will it take for you to prioritize your health this year and in times to come? I'll see you again. Think about it. And until I see you again, keep on stepping. Come back and subscribe here to this channel and bring a friend when you come. Take care and walk good. Be well.